Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Enrique, Johnny. So I read this article about how video games can boost your brain, meaning it can enhance how fast you read or pinpointing things or noticing things first in other people that don't play games. What I think about that is it's very interesting because we play games, right? So I want to know your guys' thoughts on that.
As a player that plays Call of Duty and it's one of the most violent games, I think that is very true because you need to have very good peripheral view and like good at spotting things faster than like other opponents to have an advantage. And I think that would also like really help in like real life situations. Maybe like you could spot like just differences like mistakes in
Or
essays.
also like with driving.
Yeah,
like,
even
let's say you're
driving, like,
you can see an accident coming from a mile away.
Yeah, you're more
Video games
focused
definitely.
and you're more aware of your surroundings, and I think that's just that's a very good thing to like have in your life, you know?
Yeah, I saw that and I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
There's more things on it, like saying the brain waves, they become faster, and I don't know what that helped with, but I don't know, just their brain waves were faster, and I think that's a good thing.
I mean, it's because, like, there's different types of games, you know, like Minecraft, you know how, like, it's all about surviving. So, you know, that takes a lot of brain, like, because a new player can come into Minecraft right here in this game and not know anything, but, like, someone that's experienced and knows and all that stuff, you know, I feel like they have more knowledge about this game, you know what I mean? So, I feel like it's true what Alex said, that it what would you say, like it boosts up like your brain
Boost
or
your
whatever.
brain, yeah.
Yeah, it boosts up your brain because of different type of games have different situations and scenarios where you could just act quick, and it just depends on how you are.
And also, like, Minecraft is like a peaceful game. It looks like a peaceful game, but also there is still violence in this game.
Yeah, you have to
You're
like
killing
have,
zombies,
yeah,
you're killing
mobs.
and you're fighting your friends maybe sometimes, and that can just create a violent person. But do you guys agree with that? That video games in general with violence can create a violent person?
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
That's because we play video games, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are not.
I don't act.
I know you guys.
I don't act upon.
Maybe
video games,
during
you know
the
what I mean?
game, maybe while you're playing the game, you can become
Yeah, like
violent,
you know, like of course we rage and all that stuff, but that's
when you
not.
rage.
I wouldn't think.
That's
I
just
don't think-
frustration.
Yeah,
Same
that's
with-
not like if we're like gonna do actual like bad things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
you won't
think
take that
that's-
out to the streets and start shooting
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
What I think is when you play Call of Duty, it's like a rank up game. So when you kill people and you see progression, you just want to keep doing it. But again, when you do it in real life, you're not gonna get progression. You're going straight to jail or you're going straight to prison.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Also, another thing is what we just said right now is how violent games can be connected to crimes. So let's say someone, I read this article where it said how the Sandy Hook shooting, you guys know that, the school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That they say, I'm not sure if this is right, but they say that months before he would play various video games, violent video games. But do you guys know, I'm not sure, but do you guys know the reason why he went to go shoot the school?
No.
'Cause I'm not sure, I don't really know the whole
Wasn't that
story.
like an elementary school?
Yeah, it was an elementary school, but why did he do it? There's a motive, right?
Yeah, there had to be a motive, but like, I don't believe what they said about like the whole video games thing.
Yeah,
That makes no sense.
because-
Like,
What
why
I-
you would
what
go
I
to an
think-
elementary.
What I think, it all depends on the kid's history, like how he thinks as a person. Maybe he wasn't grown up taught like maybe not good manners, but like maybe to like
Grew up
not
in a
him,
broken
not,
home.
yeah, or like maybe he just saw things differently. He wanted to maybe experience the things he sees. Maybe he thought it was okay for that because no one was maybe there for him or something. I don't know. It all depends like also on the
Oh.
games they play. because not all games are violent. Like like maybe a Rocket League. That's not a violent game. It's like more of like
Getting, it's
yeah,
like a
it's like
sports game.
it's like a
one's
sports game, like
that one's like a
2K, like
very
NFL. It's
I
like
would
different
say
games.
Rocket League. I would say Rocket League. It's very You have to have how do you call it? You have
Like
to
a
work
competitive
fast,
game.
basically.
Yeah, it's a
You have to
competitive
work
game.
fast. It's
Competitive
like
game.
there's different movements and everything like that. So like I do believe that one you work your brain a lot on that game.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You also maybe have
Again
to
on
like develop
the
skills too as well. Like
Yeah, exactly. Not
skills is a big
everybody's
thing
gonna
in
be good at
games
one
where
game, like when they barely start.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Again on the Sandy Hook shooting, the motive was inconclusive. So they did not know why he went to go shoot up the school, and they put it on video games because he played them before, so they just blame it on video games, and that's just I don't
But
know.
there is one game that I do agree people do act up on.
What game
It
is that?
is GTA.
Oh yeah.
I have seen so
Well-
many like stories and news where people and this is true because GTA, they have different situations. Like I said, every single game has different scenarios.
Mm.
GTA has to do with a lot of stealing, the like theft.
It's Grand Theft Auto.
Killing.
The
Yeah,
title
exactly.
in
It's
itself
Grand
is-
Theft Auto. It's literally there's an actual title.
Yeah,
That's what it says.
yeah.
And there is time there I believe there was like this teenager that they blamed the game that GTA, they blamed the game because he would play it a lot and he did act upon it where he stole a car and there was a baby. I think it was a kid or it was close to a grown up, like maybe like
Or I
around
don't
his
know
20s.
if you guys have seen I saw it on TikTok, but it was this guy he kept going car to car and he just take the lady out,
Oh, yeah.
like the people
I saw
out,
that.
and he would just drive off and he crashed that car and he go to the next one. And it
Yeah,
just
I saw it.
was a big police chase and it was so it's funny to see, but it's crazy. Maybe he got that from
To
Grand
see
Theft
in a real
Auto.
life.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, people really can't blame the video games because the video games are rated M for mature for the most part. Some games, depending on like how violent it is, and like, I think that people shouldn't see it as a bad way. I feel like they should maybe like
They should maybe control it a
the
little
parents.
more.
I know. I feel like the parents should maybe like either I say for younger kids to like
Yeah,
have them
also
like
'cause-
games that are not like too violent for them because at the same time some games are pretty violent but for some kids
listen,
it's just like
also-
some kids aren't raised to think like I could do this, like it's okay in the game, I could do this in real life. It's
But
like
there's kid games that are violent still. You get me?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to go against you. I'm just saying
yeah, no, I get you.
how there are kid games that still involve violence. Like Minecraft, it's like a kids game. What
Yeah,
what
it
is
is a
it?
kid
What's
game.
the rating? Rated E.
Yeah.
Rated E for
Rated
everybody.
E, and
yeah.
it's still you're still hitting people. You're still killing. And that word killing is violent.
Mobs, yeah.
And just
Yeah, you're doing all that type of stuff, so yeah. It's still violent, but it is a kid game.
yeah, it's just
Um,
what I don't
there's
like is how
multiple-
they always
multiple
pinpoint it on video games.
yeah.
But what I
Mhm.
think what kids or like people for the most part find like intriguing for games is objective based games where they have tasks. They're not always just like, oh, it's like a free world. Like, there's things to do, and I feel like for the most part maybe that's maybe why kids buy it, just to distract themselves because they know that, oh, I like for example Call of Duty. You could grind camos, progress, get better, and like just improve your
It's
skills.
just ranking up and trying to be better than
Yeah.
everyone that plays the game.
And then for example, Minecraft, the game we're playing right now, it's just like a skills game. You have to learn all like survival skills, and it's not all about
But,
like
okay.
violence, because there is creative what we're in right now. There's survival mode. There's mini games people could play. There's different things that different people could play depending on what they like. And yeah, I think
And also, you can relate, let's say Call of Duty again. We keep going back to that, but that's the game mostly everyone
It's a
knows.
common game that we play.
it's a
Yeah.
very common game.
And you can relate that to, let's say, sports, because in Call of Duty, you're trying to rank up, trying to be better than everyone. Same thing with sports or basketball, soccer, whatever sport you play. You're trying to be better than everyone else in that team, in your team, other teams, just so you can get to the top. And the fact that they go straight to video games for the fault is it's not a really good thing. Like
Yeah.
many other reasons why violence is
So
out on the
basically,
streets.
like, what we're saying is that we don't agree with what that article said that he read about
Mm.
how video games like affect kids to act upon like violence, because it's
Well,
not true. I don't
well,
believe it's true. Yes, it can have some type of like facts about like how you said about the Sandy Hook shooting.
uh,
They said they blamed it on games right away because that he played it and then
in the
he had.
article it said, I don't know if they like the people that investigated it. It was just in the article they pinpointed it on video games
Yeah.
that he played video games before, and they're like, oh, that was the fault. And but also it boosts, like there were studies that it boosts your brain. It helps you with a bunch of things. It could help you with some things. I don't know, name a lot of things, but I can't come up with them
Yeah,
right
but at the same time, like some people also play for other reasons, like maybe some people play to like release boredom, and like maybe that's their way to like not being bored.
now. And for some people, it could be a job. Like
Yeah,
people play
like
video
there's
games to
there's
have a
people
job.
that build
Streamers.
communities just from playing video games, and it's like
It
it's
creates
good at the same
a
time. Like
reality.
you could like go to like a big streamer, and you'll see that people really love these people, and it's like crazy how they build these like big communities, and they just end up like having like all these people like up to them and maybe like try to follow their steps. It's not all
Mm,
bad and like good at the same time, you get me? Like
yeah.
there's up and downs in video games, you know. Like there's good things in them. I'd say for the most part it's mainly good rather than bad because it's a small part of like it's a small percentage of people that take video games in a bad way and take it out in their real life and maybe try to like do the same things. Like I said before, like they see
Yeah.
things and they try to like replicate it in real life. Obviously, it's not gonna be the
Yeah.
same thing because
It's not
it's
gonna be
real
the same
life.
thing with
Yeah,
video games because it's a virtual world, dude. It's literally like you can't do this in real life. We can't
yeah.
build blocks in real life like in this game. But
Yes.
we've talked about how violence in video games, like it's such a common theme. But why is it such a common theme, and why do we like it? Like why do you guys wake up on one weekend and it's like, oh, I'm gonna hop on Call of Duty. I'm gonna play this game. And I think we've already established that it's because it's the what we say grinding. We grind
It's
the
like an
game to rank up.
objective-based game.
Yeah, an
Yeah, an
objective-based game. Yeah,
objective-based game.
and that's I don't think a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just a way to pass time. You love it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It gives you something to do.
Okay, now let's talk about how it can like shape the future of learning because there's a lot of studies, not studies, but like
Okay.
things being talked about that. Because one thing was virtual reality. And I don't know if you've seen those videos with like people in virtual reality and they're walking that plank. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yeah.
Like
And they're
VR.
like jump, and then they jump, and they're like they hit their head on the floor. It's not funny, but they said in an article where
Hold on, man.
talked about virtual reality and how it can shape the future of learning. So we can what's it called? People can learn to be a doctor through virtual reality. And I don't know. I was wondering how you guys think about that or feel about
Mm,
that.
I would say, um, I wouldn't say virtual reality and like specifically, but
There's a lot of
I would
simulators.
yeah. There's a lot of games nowadays that they've created, and they're like real life, scenarios.
Like
Like
realistic, yeah.
like how do you call it in the game Farm Simulator? That's real.
Mm.
I've actually downloaded that game, checked it out. No, I'm being for real. Like I've actually gotten that game, checked it out, and it's real things. Like like
Or
you
what
have
was that?
to
Surgeon Simulator. I don't know if you guys seen that.
which one?
Surgeon
Surgeon,
Simulator.
yes, yes, I've seen that.
I've never
It's
seen
like
that one.
funny, but it's like they can use that type of
Mm.
engine and like teach people how to
And like,
do a heart transplant or a
yeah.
brain transplant.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Now I know what you're
You get
talking
me?
And
about.
You
like,
get me? Like
yeah, and I think another example would be like the military. The military has um games to simulate like actual situations for soldiers to
They
maybe
do?
plan out. Yeah, there's like what is it called? U.S. Battlegrounds. Remember we used to play that?
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
It was like a very like low quality game, but it was like really fun. Like the objective of the game was like very realistic. It was like maybe
Yeah.
real life situations, maybe it helps them plan out maybe like strategies, different ways to come up on enemies, different ways to hide from enemies, different ways, I don't know, just overall develop a better
They can
soldier
develop strategy, like
strategy. Yeah.
even armies can use that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just very interesting to see that video games or technology in general
Hmm.
taking over the future, and just very excited to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it is a very big thing in like the army, and you can also see where like the army has sponsored like different like COD leagues where
they
like
sponsored a bunch of, yeah,
yeah, so it's like so even in the army it's like maybe not a big thing, but it's like certain amount like where people know video games, they've played and like maybe they're into it, and maybe those
mm,
simulators like maybe make it easier for them to like adjust like being a soldier and like for training. It's like different training in real life than in video games, because in video games you can't, or like in real life you can always like train like in different situations, like you can't train mid-war, you get me? And
yeah,
like I'd say like it's very helpful to them, and maybe just gives them a better mindset, and maybe makes them more comfortable, you get me?
yeah, yeah. So it's just very interesting to see all that stuff happening, dude.
Yeah.
Well, another thing was I think we already talked about it, but I have it here down, right? How video games can affect kids, but I think we already covered that. I don't think we really need it. Like my little brother, though, I can talk about my little brother. He plays Among Us. You guys know Among Us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A game where there's an imposter. You got to figure out who the killer is, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it seems it's a cartoon game, and it seems very innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
but
once you
like,
see you're slicing people's heads off, it's my little brother
yeah,
gets in trouble for that. That he's playing that
Yeah.
game, he gets in trouble. And I don't know why my little brother likes it. That's what got me into uh, this research on why violence is in video games and why it makes us like it.
yeah,
I
but
would
like,
say
what's
to,
it
oh
called?
yeah,
In
go
that
ahead.
same game, think about it, and literally in that game, there's a bunch of tasks that you have to do.
Yeah.
It's
A
objective, yeah.
bunch.
It's
Hmm.
Exactly. So
And at the
like,
same
on
time, you also have to figure out who the imposter is, and
yeah. On top of all
you
that, you gotta
brainstorm
figure.
as a team and maybe like connect things, and it makes you think maybe outside the box in different situations. Like, for example, like if someone tells their side of the story and someone else tells their side, and they're both coming at each other saying that each other is the imposter, you get me?
Oh, and it can also
And
develop skills, not
you
just
also,
it's
yeah,
not just
like
violent.
you,
Yeah,
you really think about it, like, okay, and then you can hear different people's sides of the story, and you connect the puzzles and figure out who the imposter is. That's
it's
like
like
pretty much the
another
game.
what's it called? Do you guys know that board game? It was a board game. Clue.
what?
Do you guys know that board
Oh
game?
yeah, I know that game.
We have
I
to
Mm.
didn't know
figure out who the
that
murderer
was.
was or something.
Yeah.
It was a board game, not a video game, a board game. But
Mhm.
once it comes out on a video game, it's a really bad thing, I guess, because
Yeah.
kids are playing it and stuff. I think with
Mhm.
board games it was more complicated. Like you had to read the rules and
Yeah.
there's a bunch of pieces. But it was still, I feel like it's the same concept, same idea.
It's an objective based board game. Like there's rules to it. There's things you could do, things you can't do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like could
it's like a
fall under the same
regular video
situation.
game. Yeah, well, I didn't really think about board games. I should have looked into board games and how they could have probably affected or influenced video games too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
man, I
mean,
thought
most board games did come to like video games though. Like Monopoly, that's a video game
Monopoly,
now.
yeah.
it's a video game, but it's the same like
It's the same
rules and
rules, yeah. But
stuff.
I'm just saying, like they
Um,
video games, yeah, like they can just come from anywhere. They just
yeah,
get
well,
inspired and they just make a different version.
just make a virtual type of the game so people won't have to
Yeah.
go and buy the game.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that called? Uno, dude? Oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like Uno's a very big thing,
It
and
gets
it's
you
very
mad too
competitive.
sometimes.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and at the same time, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't do anything that's like, oh yeah, because of this, I'm gonna be a violent person because I lost. You get me? It's like,
Yeah. You
it's
just
just
get mad at
friendly.
the heat of the
It's just a
game.
game, you know?
But I mean, there is some people where I feel like there should be something about it, right? But I have to check. But there's probably some people that can develop something from that,
Hmm.
like constant losing, constant getting mad, raging, and I feel like that's where people see the problem, but they don't really see the positive things
Sides
of
of it,
video
yeah.
games or games in general. It doesn't have to be just video games,
Mm.
but yeah.